The silent echoes of room 206. The night was heavy with silence. The wind outside howled through the narrow alleyways, rattling the rusted windows of Blackwood Hostel. It had stood there for decades, a three-story building that had once been a mansion before being converted into a student hostel. Time had worn it down, the walls were cracked, the wooden floors creaked, and the corridors stretched eerily long in the dim light. But the library was the strangest part of the hostel. Few students ever dared to enter, especially after dark. There were whispers, stories passed down by seniors, about people going in and never coming out the same. Some claimed to hear voices from the old bookshelves. Others spoke of shadows that moved when no one was there. But Aadi didn't believe in such things, at least not yet. Aadi, a final-year literature student, had just moved into room 206, a corner room at the end of the hallway. It was distant from other rooms, which suited him just fine. He liked solitude. Books were his escape, and this hostel, with its massive library, felt like the perfect place to focus on his studies. His first night in room 206 was uneventful. The room smelled of old wood and something faintly metallic, but he ignored it. It was on the second night that things changed. The clock struck 2:13 a.m. when Aadi woke up to a sound, a whisper. It wasn't from inside his room. It was faint, seeping through the walls. He sat up, heart pounding, ears straining. Aadi! His name. Aadi swallowed hard and turned toward the door. The whisper had come from the hallway. He crept toward it, pressing his ear against the cold wood. Silence. Then, a sudden creak from inside the room. His wardrobe door was slightly open, but he had locked it before sleeping. A chill ran down his spine. He stepped closer, hand trembling as he reached for the handle. Thump. Something inside the wardrobe moved. Aadi yanked the door open. Nothing, just his clothes, but the air inside smelled damp, like wet soil. Shaken, he shut the wardrobe and went back to bed. He barely slept. The next morning, Aadi went to the hostel library. It was massive, with towering bookshelves that seemed endless. Dust floated in the dim light filtering through tall stained glass windows. The air was thick, too still. As Aadi ran his fingers along the book spines, his hand stopped on an old black leather book with no title. The moment he touched it, a whisper scratched against his ears. Come! Aadi gasped and pulled his hand back. His pulse raced. He turned, expecting to see someone behind him. No one. The librarian, an old woman with hollow eyes, was watching him from across the room. Be careful what you open, she murmured. Aadi hesitated, but curiosity won. He took the book and walked toward the reading table in the farthest corner of the library. The moment he flipped it open, a gust of cold air rushed past him. The lights flickered. Then the pages turned on their own. One word stood out in faded ink. Room 206. A sharp chill crawled down his spine. Then footsteps, slow, heavy, coming from behind him. He turned. No one. But the shadows between the shelves shifted. Aadi slammed the book shut and ran. That night, Aadi lay awake in room 206. His hands trembled as he clutched his blanket. His mind kept replaying the moment in the library. The book, the whisper, the shadows. Then, a soft exhale. His breath hitched. The sound wasn't coming from him. It was coming from the wardrobe. Slow, heavy, like something was breathing inside it. Aadi's body stiffened. He reached for his phone, switched on the flashlight, and pointed it at the wardrobe door. It was closed, but the wood moved, expanding and contracting, as if something inside was breathing. His fingers tightened around the blanket. He wanted to move, to run, but his body refused to obey. Then, the wardrobe door creaked open. Inside, hanging between his clothes, a blackened, rotting hand. Aadi's stomach twisted. The fingers twitched, reaching out. Then, the wardrobe door slammed shut on its own. Aadi bolted from the bed, gasping for breath. For the rest of the night, he sat in the corner, staring at the wardrobe, waiting, but it never moved again. Aadi decided to leave. He packed his bags, his mind made up. But before he could exit the room, his phone screen glitched. The screen flickered, turning black. Then in white, a message appeared. "You brought it back." Aadi's breath hitched. He dropped his phone and ran for the door. It wouldn't open. The lights flickered. Then, the wardrobe creaked open again, slow, agonizing. Aadi turned. His heartbeat thundered. Inside, standing between his clothes, something tall, something faceless, something grinning. Its mouth stretched impossibly wide, revealing darkness that had no end. It whispered, "You should not have opened the book." The next morning, Aadi was gone. His belongings remained untouched. His phone, his bag, everything was as he left it. But room 206 was locked from the inside. When the warden broke in, the room was empty. Only the wardrobe stood open. Inside, hanging on a single rusty hook, was Aadi's skin. The hostel shut down weeks later. But if you stand outside room 206 at night, if you listen, you can still hear it. A whisper, a voice, calling the next guest. Come. Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, I'll see you again with another creepy story. Until then, bye. Thanks for watching.